Hi, you winners, and welcome to the 3-year anniversary / 2,000 subscribers question and answer. So I'm just going to read them in order from what I see, which actually is out of order than when I wrote my answers. So I'm going to try and find them, and I'll just answer all the questions that I've gotten. If I don't hit any questions that you would like to know about, like if you realize, oh crap, I never asked for a question, go ahead, do it in the comments below, and I'll respond to you. So I will give you an answer. It just won't be in the video if it's after this. So, which, if I'm not reading in this video, then it is. So, okay, the first question is from Chris. I'm gonna butcher your name. Nguyen? I'm probably totally wrong. And I met you at PAX South, so hi again. And your first question is, what is your job? So I'm assuming you mean, like, aside from YouTube, what gets me money? And that is being a graphic designer at a vehicle wrap company. So I just pretty much design what goes on cars, vans, trucks, whatever. And it either advertises a company or it's just for fun, for someone who wants stripes or whatever. So that's what I do to get money. Otherwise, I just kind of do art on the side, commissions for some people, but it's not like a specific thing. It's just, oh, I want this icon, or oh, I want you to draw my kid, or whatever. So that's what I do for my job. Question number 2. What is your opinion on this year's presidential candidates? Now, I don't really follow the elections that well as I should. I mean, I know who I'm voting for, but I don't really know what's going on. I only know what pretty much Tumblr tells me, which is really sad and not the most informative or factful source to go by. But from what I know, it's very extremist, especially the Republicans. And, I mean, I have a lot of friends that are both Democrat and Republican. Like, a lot of friends are split down the middle. And I'm not, I don't judge whatever you vote for. That's whoever you're going to vote for. Whatever your beliefs are, that's your beliefs. I'm friends with a lot of people that would never even talk to each other. So, I'm not going to judge you guys based on what you want to do. But, I mean, personally, I really like Bernie Sanders, but that's just me. I like all that he stands for, almost all that he stands for, and it's more down my alley. But I'm okay with Hillary, but I am overall a Democrat. Usually, I don't think I will ever vote Republican. I mean, the Democrat candidate has to really suck for me to want to vote Republican, but my other opinion on the candidates is, we all know Donald Trump, and he's a scary, scary person. Bless you. A very, very scary person. And by scary, I mean just the influence that he has over the extremists of Republicans scares me, because it's very much like a dictatorship, and we don't need that, and he's very crazy. And as a president, that's a little concerning. Just saying. Like, I know it's like, oh, well, politicians lie and stuff. Yeah, that's fine, but we don't need a businessman, much less that businessman. So, but that's personally my opinion. I do know people that are going to be voting for Trump, specifically my boss, which is great. Or at least last I heard. That was like months ago. But it's, whatever you want to do. Well, one of my bosses. But it's like, whatever you want to do, your beliefs and what you go by, what you were raised with. I'm not going to judge you based on how you were raised. It's just, that's my personal opinion about the candidates. Question number 3. How did you come up with your channel name and your outro catchphrase? Now, came up with my channel name because I already had one, and I didn't want to use it. So I had KatFTWynn47. Did not want to use that. Not memorable. Everyone has a channel name like that. I just didn't want to do it if I want to be known. So I was trying to come up with stuff, and I came up with Scaredy Cat. Surprise, surprise, there's like 2 or 3 of those. in different variations. Like, God damn it. I was so upset because I was like so proud of myself for coming up with Scaredy Cat. Which is really sad that I was so proud of myself, but clearly it wasn't original at all. But because I was kind of planning originally to do more of like horror genre, but now it's just kind of horror, adventure, story driven, whatever. Like I like to feel different emotions, but in the beginning that's what I was aiming for when I was just concept stages of my channel, and I couldn't think of anything else. So Shy Guy's like, how about KatFTWynn? I'm like, mother of God. I don't know how he came up with it, but he did. And he's like, well, I was just thinking, like, what goes with win and or cat, and, you know, KatFTWynn, like, for the win. I'm like, I don't care how you came up with it. Fact is, I'm using it. So, pretty much, Shy Guy takes all the credit for that. I had no idea what to call my subscribers. And then Shy Guy and another friend of mine came up with winners. So, I'm not original. They are. And then my outro catchphrase, I pretty much keep winning at life. That was just me. That's what came naturally. I don't think I thought too hard about it. It just kind of happened. I think I thought about it for like 2 seconds. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to use that. It happened. Not as much thought as the channel name, because that can always change, whereas the channel name's kind of a structural thing that needs to stay the same, or else people are just going to get confused and not be able to find you. So that's how that happened. Okay, question number 4 is from Vice Rogue 13. Vice, VYSE. You guys will see it down there, but ask the question, has a game ever been so hard that you've just given up on it? Hell yes. Of course. Like, there are quite a few of them. I wrote down a list. As a kid, I never finished Banjo-Kazooie. I still to this day never have. I never finished Ocarina of Time. Still to this day never have. Don't hurt me! I have it on 3DS and stuff. I just haven't had the time to keep playing it. I'm farther now than I was as a kid. As a kid, I kept hitting Jabu Jabu's belly and was like, fuck this. Like, never played it. And I just kept replaying it until I hit Jabu Jabu's belly. Or I would play my dad's account, which he beat. So I would just run around on Epona for shits and giggles. So, I mean, I know the map like the back of my hand, but yeah, I never beat it. And then there are a few other things as a kid I never beat, like Spyro, stuff like that. I would play until it got too hard, and then I'd restart. So, I mean, I still enjoyed the game. I just couldn't actually do it. As an adult, though, I mean, I will say, thinking about the last, like, couple years, I haven't recently been upset at a game, or at least found it so hard that I've given up and not completed it, only because almost all the games that I play are for the channel, and I don't want it to not be in a complete playthrough. I think if there's only one playthrough I have kept incomplete, which is Scratches, because I literally cannot finish it because of a glitch. And I haven't really gone back to restart the whole thing to see if that glitch is gone. Because that's a lot of energy, especially for that point and click. Didn't want to deal with it. And that's even if the glitch is gone. But that's not so much like rage quitting and not coming back to it. So recently, not so much. I've been finishing everything I start. But if I didn't have the channel and I played these games, I probably would not have finished The Evil Within, to be completely honest. The DLC, yeah, but the actual game, those boss fights were freaking stupid hard. And one right after the other. I got really angry. I was not okay. Not okay with that, not okay in general. So that's something I would have quit. Elemental is another one. Towards the last level or two, I was just so done with that game. The fact that I had gotten so far, I probably should have done it as like a one shot here and there and see how far I can go. Kind of like how I did with, Minecraft. Or Flying, which Flying ended up being a little broken for my computer. So, but I probably should have kept it to that. But I didn't, so I felt very determined to finish it for you guys, because I did not want you to not see the ending. And then the last one that I could think of for the channel that I would have quit for, and I'm probably forgetting, like, a major one or something, but Eversion. That's one of the first, I think it's the first indie game I played. And I love Eversion, but I raged so hard towards the end there. I mean, I had my voice already lost to start with, and I was so angry. So, yeah, I would have totally finished that if I had the chance to. Given up on it. That's what I meant. But I finished it because I wanted to for you guys. I was just, yeah. But there are exceptions to certain ones that if they're too hard, I'm not motivated to finish, like indie games. Either we're just frustrated because, oh my god, we can't find this one item, or we keep getting killed, and it's just like a short indie game that's not a playthrough, that's a one-shot, whatever. I mean, there are a few of those I gave up on because of difficulty, or just I was tired of it. But yeah. Next question is from V Werewolf Jones, which looks like werewolf with 2 V's instead of a W. The question is, could Jesus microwave a burrito so hot that even he couldn't eat it? My response is, if he so wished, sure. Next question. The next question is from Brandon, Beville. And the question is, Sarah Palin or Donald Trump? Now, thinking really hard about it, because I'm like, oh no. When I read that, I was like, you're going to make me make this decision? Like, really? Sarah Palin, I would say, over Donald Trump, because she may not be the brightest tool in the shed. And yes, I said brightest intentionally, even though it's supposed to be sharpest. But she is not, I don't know if she's not crazy, but she doesn't have as much influence and power. And people saw through her a lot easier than you would think people would see through Donald Trump. But there are the select few who are like, yeah, let's go mark everyone of a certain ethnicity. Let's go do this and do that and do things that don't make any sense. And where's that money coming from? But I don't care because I support you. That didn't so much happen with Sarah Palin that I remember. I mean, I was younger, so I don't remember too much of it. But from what I remember and the current times that are happening, I'm going to say Sarah Palin. The next few questions are from the ZombieNoodle, which, hello. The first question is, what originally made you want to be a Let's Player? And I've answered this, I think, in all of them, but it's always good to refresh with at least this, because it's usually the most common question for all Let's Players. But for me, it started with me seeing Harshly Critical playing Amnesia short story, like Amnesia custom games, and I thought it was the coolest thing, and was like, people actually do this? Like, what? And I binge watched John's shit so hard. Like, I should have been studying for finals, and I spent like 5 hours watching all different kinds of custom stories, and it was bad. Like, I was obsessed. I kind of looked into it and was like, ooh, this would kind of be something cool that I could do, and I have a lot of time on my hands. And I was told that in order to not freak out from plans changing and stuff, and me end up being alone in my room and not knowing what to do, I could do this. So I decided to look more into it, and I realized a couple of things. First thing is that I don't really play video games all that much anymore. And that's one of the things that really pushed me to do this, because I'm like, this is going to make me play video games. And it's not like, oh my god, it's like a torture device. She's going to have to play video games and she doesn't want to. That's not it. I really wanted to. I just didn't find motivation to. I was like, oh, well, I could do it, or I could watch this thing on Netflix. Actually, I think I was watching Netflix a lot back then. And so I just was never playing video games. If I did, it was rare and with friends. But otherwise, I was doing a lot of stuff around campus, and I just forgot video games really existed. I think I played 1, maybe 2 games in a year, which is really sad. I think I played them to show River the game. So, I really wanted to push myself to do what I love, because I was like, I love video games. Why the hell aren't I playing them? So I decided to do this. The second reason was because at the time, and I've said this before, so I'll kind of try and keep it short, but I couldn't find myself. I was friends with all the people at college, and then I'd come home, and all my friends from home were just bonding together without me, and I was like, I don't know any of these references. I'm just sitting here kind of outed, not knowing how to respond, just like, that's funny, right? I don't know. Like, I didn't feel like I had a personality anymore, or at least one that was different. Like, I felt there. I didn't feel different. It was a senior college crisis that happened with me. And then when I go to school, like, I felt like I had a totally different personality, because putting an Illinoisan with a Minnesotan, like a bunch of Minnesotans, I stand out. But going home, I felt lost. So I kind of wanted to find myself without anyone, see who I was, just Kat. Nothing. No influences, nothing. And, well, very little influence. And so I decided to do the channel for that, which has really helped me in both aspects. You guys see how many video games I play, and I definitely know who I am now. Or at least I'm not questioning it. One or the other. But I definitely know my personality now in comparison. Like, comparing myself to other Let's Players, to my friends. Like, it really helps to be able to see yourself to then understand who you are. It sounds weird, but it's like, when you are experiencing the moment and stuff, you don't know what you're like. But if I watch myself because I'm editing, or watching myself play with, like, John or Craven or Bowling Out or anyone, I then realize these are the mannerisms I have. These are the comments I make. This is the kind of humor I have. This is the kind of friendships I have with each of these different people, and how it differs between each person. And it's kind of very revealing to see what you're like by watching yourself. So I would never have regretted this. I haven't regretted this, and I don't think I ever will. So that's why I started it, and that's why I will continue to play it. Let's play. Second question is, what's your top 3 favorite movies? And I had to think hard about this. Okay, I lied. I had to think hard about the last one, and then realize the last one exists. So the first one is Princess Bride. That is my favorite movie. Always has been. I probably know 80% of the words by heart, like, before they come. I can say it, like, after hearing the first line, but no, like, by heart, 80% of it. It's my favorite movie of all time. Always has been since I was a kid. I love the characters. I love the story. For all that it's, like, tries to do, like, a little bit of horror, a little bit, like, a lot of adventure, romance, suspense. Yes, it has a lot. Mind games. It's just a lot of humor. It tries to combine all genres, or most genres, all together, and I really appreciate that. So that's my first favorite movie. Second one is Road to El Dorado, another movie that I know a lot of the dialogue from, not as much as Princess Bride, but there are quite a few references I grabbed from that movie. And I've, again, loved that since I was a kid. And what I'm basing all 3 of my favorite movies, like, they're not based off a genre or anything like that. It's pretty much movies that I can watch time after time after time again and will not get sick of them. I've probably watched all 3 of these movies, like, over 20 times plus, and I still am not sick of it, and can watch it, like, 3 days in a row and be totally okay. I love these movies. So Road to El Dorado, it's beautiful humor, and the interaction between Miguel and Tulio and Chell are amazing. So then the last movie, which I was like, oh my god, this exists, why didn't I even think of it, is a really old movie. And by really old, I mean, like, I think it was the 1980s, like, in that decade. Clue, the old one, with Tim Curry and Christopher Lloyd, and it has, like, quite a few other famous people. I love that movie so much. It's another one that I know. Actually, that one I would say I know a lot of the lines from, just because I watched it a lot as a kid. Did. And I still, again, can't get tired of watching it. I quote it and people are like, what? I'm like, never mind. No one knows the quotes from that movie but me. But I love the Clue movie. It's just so cheesy, but it's humor, very dark humor, but its humor is great. All three of these are humor movies, but I can't get sick of them. And they're not dull. They all have a lot of variation to them. So that's my favorite 3 movies. Your favorite movie quote, go. Stars, can't do it. Not today. Road to El Dorado. I use that quote all the time. Like, all the time. I think I use it in a lot of my playthroughs, too. Like, I don't remember what will trigger me saying that, because there's a specific, like, phrase that something will say, or someone will say, and I'm just like, can't do it. Not today. Like, I use it far more than I should, but probably favorite movie quote as of right now. What do you do when you're not on camera? That doesn't sound weird at all. My life. I work, I do art, I hang with friends and family. It just changes every week. I do Winning Wednesdays to update you guys, but yeah, that's what I do when I'm not recording. Question number 5. Ever think about getting LASIK surgery? When I was younger, I did. I wore contacts all the time. I think I wore them from when I was 16 to about almost junior year in college. So 4 or 5 years, I wore them every single day. I hated wearing my glasses, especially since my glasses were those like plastic emo glasses, so they didn't have grips, so they just kept sliding down. I'd look down, fall off. Like, I hated wearing my glasses, so I always wore contacts. No one saw me with glasses unless I was sick or had pink eye, which happened only like once in college, because college is bacteria zone. But you just wouldn't see me with them. But then I got something in my eye. I'm not sure what. I used to be a dog bather, so I'd get a lot of like bacteria around me, and I'm pretty sure something got caught on my contact or under my contact or something, because my eye got massively infected, had ulcers on it. It was bad. Yeah, I think it was both my eyes, but one of them got hit really bad. But it might have just been the one eye. I thought I had pink eye at first because it was so red. So I went to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, it's pink eye. So they gave me pink eye medication, which made the redness go away and the infection, but it did not help because I waited too long, and my eye, so it was a bunch of ulcers. So one of them was in my vision, and my vision started to blur. So I then went to the eye doctor after my eye was all done being red, because it was still, my vision was still blurry. Like, this isn't good. So I went in, and they're like, yeah, you had a bunch of ulcers on your eye, just in case you didn't know, which I was like, fuck. And she said, here's some steroid eye drops. Put them in your eyes. See if it'll get better. So it did. And I only noticed the blur in my eye, which it's not existent, but it'll come back up or creep back up in really weird situations. One, if I like stare at a 3DS screen for a long time, and I don't know if it has to do with staring at a screen so close for so long, but I noticed like when I looked up, I'm like, whoa, my left eye is freaking out, because it's always my left one. My left eye is blurry, and when I'm in an airplane, my left eye freaks out. So it's like, those are the only times I've really noticed it coming back, but it goes away after like half hour, or maybe I just stopped noticing it. I don't know, but yeah, I talked to the optometrist about it, and because my eyes did not like contacts. Like, my eyes have not liked contacts since. I will look like I am on severe drugs. My eyes just get bright red. They look terrifying, to be completely honest. Like, it looks bad. I talked to her about it, and she's like, your eyes are just permanently dry. And then told me one thing that I'll probably never be able to do is LASIK eye surgery, which I found out later what it is, and it's like flap of skin is that. So I'm like, never mind, I probably wouldn't have done it anyway, but I couldn't probably do it even if I wanted to because of all the scars on my eye. So, but I don't wear contacts anymore because my eyes just itch really bad, like after a few hours. I only wear them if I have to go to a theme park or swimming or something. Actually, like swimming, I usually wear glasses now too. But there are certain situations where I have to wear contacts, but I try not to as much as I can because they're a pain in the butt now. And I really like my glasses because I finally found a pair that really suit me and don't fall off my face. So, yeah. Question number 6. What topic can someone begin talking about where you can go off and talk about said topic all day long? Well, if you guys couldn't tell, I talk a lot. I'm a very talkative person. Everyone that's close to me knows this because I just don't shut up and I get very excited and I talk nonstop. But the first thing that came to my mind was To the Moon. If I'm trying to describe that game to someone, I want to describe the entire game. And while I'm in the middle of describing it, I will start crying. Like, that is a game that just, like, I get really eager to tell people, and then I'm like, ignore my crying. It's okay. This is what happens. So, that's all I could really think of specifically. Otherwise, I just talk a lot in general, so anything can set me off. And next question from the Zombie Noodle is, what was your favorite ZombieNoodle Pax moment? LOL. And I have to say, because I was like, yeah, what's my favorite moment? And I would have to say, me and Zombie Noodle had a long talk about our home lives, specifically spouses and our relationships, and it was very interesting, and I really, really enjoyed the talk. It was really nice to be able to talk to someone that understands my situation, and I was free of judgment. He didn't judge me at all. He totally understood and didn't find it weird, and which never happens. I get either like a crap ton of questions, or people are just like, why that doesn't make any sense. Why would you live like that? Or questioning what I love or who I love, and it's just, I get a lot of judgment, especially from families, specifically River and Shy Guy's family and my family. And it's just, my mom's one of the only people who has never judged me, other than Shy Guy and River, and even my friends have pretty much judged me, except for Tedders, and I don't think Snuffles really did, and Alicia Storm. Otherwise, everyone had their moment of judging. And it was really cool to meet a stranger. I talked to you before, but meet someone that doesn't know anything about me to accept everything about me. So I think that was my favorite moment for sure. And we were walking along the river walk, so it was something I probably won't forget for a while. So if I even forget it. But, and like obviously in return, I was really curious and non-judgmental about his situation, but just, it was really cool. It was a good moment. So, yeah. Next question is from XYZ99ism. And when you were younger, did you have any big fears? Oh, yeah. Probably my biggest, top 3. First one was dying alone. By the way, all 3 of these, I still have these fears. They're just more muted. But as a kid, I was terrified of dying alone. Like, I just had a summer of scares where I was just afraid everything was going to kill me. And then 2, being trapped in small spaces. Very claustrophobic. Very much so. So claustrophobic that I can't even wear a turtleneck around my neck because, like, right here, if anything touches, like, this circle, I get really claustrophobic and gaggy. But, like, being trapped in a closet, imagining being buried underground, like, all of that, nope. It's not okay. It's scared me since I was a kid. And nothing, by the way, nothing triggered these. I don't know if I watched something or heard something, but it's just fears. And the third one is elevators. I'm still uncomfortable in elevators, especially if it gets so packed that I'm, like, pushed up against the wall. I'm so afraid that, like, a cable is gonna, like, fucking rip and just, we all going down, or, like, the brakes don't work. Like, I don't like it. I will take stairs if it's, like, a short way. Otherwise, I'm just, like, I have to breathe myself through it. But as a kid, I was really scared of elevators, so, yeah. And John K. asks, are you a hockey fan? If so, are you a Blackhawks fan? Now, I'm not really a sports fan in general. I don't really follow sports. But if I do, I always support home team. Just because, who else am I going to support? I don't know. So, yeah, pretty much I'm a Blackhawks fan, if you can even call it that. I mean, hockey's interesting. I have an uncle that plays hockey. But I don't really watch sports in general. But I guess if I'm to support any teams, they're going to be Blackhawks, Cubs, sorry White Sox fans, but Cubs, Bears, and actually I'll support the Vikings second to Bears because I went to school in Minnesota, college in Minnesota, but yeah, I feel like I'm missing a couple other sports, but those are the ones that are most talked about around here. So. And the last question is from Savior86. The question is, how do you gauge what's appropriate or inappropriate? It says inappropriate. In a question, how do I know if I went too far? I realized as I was answering this earlier today that you might have I was trying to figure out if you were actually asking this question so that way you could then ask a question, or if this was your question for the video. So I'm going to answer it. Sorry. But you can always ask a question in the comments if you have more on top of that. But pretty much my guidelines for what's inappropriate is asking where I live, asking legal names, asking specific place of work, like name of work, and anything that puts my family, friends, or I at risk. I don't want people to know obviously I can't stop all information from being leaked. I'm sure if searched hard enough, I can be found just like anyone else. But I just don't want to make it easy. You know what I mean? And then another, inappropriate thing is anything that has to do with, what's the word? Intimacy, stuff like that. It's a little personal. But I'm pretty open to answering anything. Just judge your question. I don't know. You ask about situations I'm in, ask about relationships I have, I will answer them. I take a lot to get offended. So if you're like, this is a little inappropriate, it's probably a little inappropriate. So that's about it. So that was the last question. If you guys, again, have another question, go ahead, put it in the comments. I will answer you, type to you. And so that way you don't feel like, oh no, I had this question and now she won't answer it. I will answer it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for an amazing 3 years. And I'll continue to keep going, obviously, because it's 11 days past 3 years. So obviously I'm still doing this. I just want to thank you guys because a lot of you have been following me since the beginning. So it's pretty amazing of you guys. And also thank you for 2,000 subs plus. I know I just put an update video of things that are going to be changing, and I hope it's not too much change for you guys, especially the ones that have been around a while. It's still going to be the same content. This is just more visual changes than anything else. Because I can't change the way I react to a game. I can't change my personality. I mean, I can, but not easily. And, I could stop swearing, but I swear so much it's not going to happen. I will screw up way too many times. I might as well just be me. And that's all I'm going to keep being is me. And all I ask for you guys is to keep being you. Because you guys are awesome. And thank you for all the questions and the support. And I will see you guys in the next question and answer or Winning Wednesday or playthrough or whatever it is you guys watch. So keep winning at life, guys.